how long before we actually get to those levels? And more to the point here, you're seeing robust growth for the sector, for the BPO sector. Question is, can the office market keep up with the demand?
Well, there's a lot of supply in the market. So at the moment, the current vacancy in the Philippines is 3 million square meters, as against a demand of 800,000. So there's still a big gap between the supply and demand. And why have prices not crashed through the floor? Well, that's because 98% of tenants renewed. Number two, there's still a very strong pipeline of deals that want to get done between now and the next 6 months. So, and third, the BPO sector is going to keep growing. And they had a record year in terms of hiring in 2020 and 2021, 150,000 new jobs created. And only 20% of those jobs have found office space. And so there's going to be pent-up demand in 2022 and 2023 as people move back to the office. And I do think that work from home will slowly transform to work near home as companies locate in deeper provincial locations closer to the workforce.
Okay, this time let's focus on one particular sector, POGOs. I mean, in our previous conversations, you were quite optimistic about the sector's possible bounce back. But looking at the report, they only account for 3% of total demand. Are you still as bullish for the sector?
Well, as many people might know, some of the leaders in this country are wanting to shut this sector down. So we've had a fantastic ride in the last 35 months, 36 months, right? Despite COVID, Metro Manila leasing transactions still clocked 1.65 million square meters of office space taken up. Okay, that's massive compared to many countries. We are the envy of the office sector in the world because of this volume of transactions that still happen. Now, despite all that, we're just 50% of where we were in 2019. We need the POGO sector to participate in this. And what's been holding them back? Well, many things, from immigration issues to travel restrictions to capital restrictions from China. And China is not just targeting the POGO sector, it's targeting everybody who's trying to bring capital out of China somewhere else. Okay? It is trying to bring in all the money that left China. And it's doing that with very painful measures. In addition to that is, all these tax issues, and then all the senators and congressmen that are saying, maybe we should shut this thing down. Frankly, this is not the right time to close this sector. We need this, not just for the real estate sector. In fact, the real estate sector, yes, it's one of the most prominent beneficiaries of this sector. But let's not forget, the government is a very direct beneficiary of this sector because of all the taxes it's collecting, both directly and indirectly. And then you've got hundreds of thousands of Filipinos that have jobs depending on this industry. So this is not the right time to kind of contemplate on doing anything like this. It is sending foreigners who are legitimately operating in the Philippines a very bad signal. Plus, the POGO sector is not just about China. Yes, it is the most prominent segment of the POGO sector, but it is not the only segment of the market.
And then, David, of course, lastly, we cannot not talk about the residential space here. Based on your report, we're seeing consistent demand here. But at the same time, do you expect a possible slowdown here, especially when rate hikes kick in?
If we shut down the POGOs, then the velocity in the residential sector and the office sector will be hit quite negatively. And then that will impact sentiment. And everything else will slow down after that. Okay? So why have capital values in the residential sector all throughout the Philippines continue to hold ground, if not appreciate? In most parts, it has appreciated anywhere from 5% to 300%. In very few cases, they have been distressed transactions, but that is an exception to the total number of transactions happening. Ayala Land Premier, for example, continued to break records in new launches in both pricing and take-up. So I think that's a very good sign. The only way you can explain that, three things. First, the savings rate generally is higher than what everyone thought.
Okay.
Which which was not transparent. Number two, the borrowing rates, the level of debt was actually much lower than what many people thought. And number three, jobs continued to be created in the Philippines because of the PPO sector and the POGO sector.